on automatic machine learning tools. So basically, the existing alternatives are mostly evaluating models, so the results of the automatic machine learning creation based on classical machine learning performance metrics. No? For example, we have this image extracted from this paper at the bottom, where you see that the quality of the models is evaluated based on F1 score, accuracy, and accuracy gain in the top. No? First, we know that based on what we have been presenting before and what we will be presented in the following talks, the models are not only evaluated based on the accuracy, but also in other characteristics like memory footprint or security, right? And also, one thing that we have observed is that existing automatic machine learning tools are used as a black box, providing the results only at the end of the process. Regarding more specifically the interfaces, we can see here two examples of state-of-the-art interfaces. One in the left is created by H2O AI, and the other one in the right is Oracle Automatic Machine Learning. Personally prefer the UI in the left because it's much more advanced, but still it has the problematic of it gives a lot of options, and the user can parameterize a lot of parameters on the computation, but at the end they can only see the result when the whole process has finished, right? So now I will introduce the requirements of basically our tool, our user interface. And the first requirement was was already written down when in the project proposal. So it's a project requirement, which is the need of adapting somehow agile methodologies into the agile development, into the AI development, sorry. So between the agile principles, those ones that can be easily adapted to deep learning development, for example, is the first one, which is iterative, incremental, and evolutionary development. This is something that is not supported by the previous tools that I was explaining to you because there is no there are no iterations, there is no any incremental development. It's a monotonic process where the user inputs the data and they have the result at the end. And this is something that we have been trying to address in ALOHA. Also, another agile principle that we were trying to adapt in our project, but specifically through the UI, is to reduce the feedback loop and the adaptation cycles, and then a focus on quality, right? Then, a part of the requirements that were driven by the project itself, there are the use case requirements that are a set of requirements that were driven by the use case providers that Adriana explained at the very beginning of this talk. So basically, there are pretty high-level requirements for the platform, at least the ones that I'm reflecting here. The first one is multi-tenancy. So the tool supports for multiple stakeholders in the same installation. Also, isolation at the same time. So individual experiments should be isolated from each other. And the need of supporting for multiple levels of expertise or user background, no? So the tool allows for multiple levels of experience, of expertise in machine learning, deep learning development. One thing that is not mentioned here, but is strongly related to this, is that our tool is prepared for being used as software as a service, but at the same time also for as a local installation. So the multi-tenancy might make more sense in the first case where this is a software as a service installation. Now I will give the floor to my colleague Manuel that will explain basically our approach on the ALOHA UI. So Manuel, all yours.
Thank you, David. Welcome everyone. Good morning. So David, if you are okay, I will tell you when go through the slides. So go ahead, please. So this is a schematic of the interface that have been shown before. We talked about the Kanban board as an inspiration for our agile approach. The idea is to support this iteration phase in all the steps. So we have in the algorithm configuration, the training steps, and an evaluation of the results and possibility of retraining. And then in the system level configuration, Again, an iteration phase, and finally the generation, implementation, and testing to retrain and compare different different projects and with different user parameters. Right. So the next, right? Okay. So the user interface, as the requirements told by David, were to allow a multi-tenancy project. So somehow the user management system from the ALOHA tool flow allows to manage projects by individuals, but also for research groups or development groups. So many people can see at the same time the projects that are running in different stages. So at the same time, as I said, experiments can be managed with different specific groups, and the visualization of the results, and also the visualization of the status of each experiment is allowed by the platform. So if you can go to the next slide. Okay, so here is the user management system. It is very easy to manage, to create and assign different users to each group that are working even in the local machine or in a cloud system, right? And the next one, please. Well, the next one, this is. So when a user explain creating an experiment, they can set up, as shown before, all the parameters. There are a preset of parameters that can be set up by the administrator that somehow users can reuse and be allowed to reuse. The same is for the pre-processing pipelines that are defined and can be saved for reusing in new experiments. The next one. As also is talked before, the pipelines can be managed for reuse, and also for adding new plugins for using in the different states of the pre-processing, also in transformation on post-processing. So a user can update the same pipeline and can use different versions to compare the same data set or the same architecture with the new version of the pipeline, so including new use cases. Next one, please. So as I told before, a user can see the status of an experiment. In this is the card that shows the status of the experiment. In a very simple way, we design for each stage the current status and activating and desactivating each module for easy use for non-advanced users, right? However, if you want to see more detail or sets more parameters, this project can be edited in the left bottom corner. So next slide. Okay. So once the training is done, or during the training, I think Adriano showed some of these views of the results, right? The results for each project can see the different models that have been trained and can be compared with similar metrics. Next one. And also, different projects can be compared with the same metrics in multiple project comparison. So let's go one more, David, or two. This is how we manage the lifecycle management. So as you can see, you have different experiments running at the same time in the 4 steps, which are the first algorithm configuration and training, the system learning configuration with SESAM and other modules, and then finally the code generation. So next slide. This is the first step, the stage, the algorithm configuration that are shown. Once the training is finished and the design space explored, you can see the results and select the desired algorithm to go to the second stage. David, please. In the second stage, you can analyze and optimize the architecture. So you have results of the SESAM exploration and the ONNX for exporting the model. And the stage 3, David. Finally, the user can export the model, the algorithm for different platforms. So it's easily exportable and uploaded to a desired use case. So to wrap up, David, our proposal in terms of the UI is giving new advantages against the state of the art, focusing on agile, comparing and managing multiple projects at the same time, and evaluating them in between, and giving this multi-tenancy support. So the tool flow is available publicly now. So thank you for your attention. If you have any doubts or questions, you can ask.
Thank you, guys. So if there are any questions from the audience, otherwise, I think that the next part of the agenda is another break. Let's make this one a bit shorter, please. So let's try to get back at 12 o'clock so that we can try to finish on time with the remaining three talks. Okay, doesn't seem the case. Please recall that whenever you have questions, even on previous presentations, if you want, you can also write something to the chat, and we will take care of getting to you or maybe answering offline. Okay, so guys, see you at 12 o'clock. Bye-bye.